What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at SCZ-3, the new SMG of Battlefield 2042 that came with Season 7. We're going to take a look at the weapon, we're going to take a look at the recoil pattern, and based off all those things, we're going to select some attachments that suit this weapon as best as possible. Some people call it the new Close Quarters King, but I just simply disagree with those people. I just don't think this weapon is as good as that to be called the King of Close Quarters. In today's video, we're going to find out why, and we're going to go over the attachments one by one to see what attachments suit your playstyle and what attachments suit this weapon in general. So that's about today's video, but before we get into it, I just don't want you to forget that liking the video will really help the channel to grow. It will really help the video to be seen by other Battlefield players like yourself, so don't forget to like the video. And if it was helpful, I make content like this. I make tips and tricks content. I make all kinds of videos about Battlefield 2042, the news, the updates, patch notes, everything is found here. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. With all that said, let's just get right into the video. So first of all, I need to explain something here. The SCZ-3 is really an astonishing weapon. It has a rate of fire of 880 RPM, which is quite something to consider. But I do believe the damage model is a bit off. It would have been like super OP if it wasn't. So I believe in some balancing perspective, the damage model is on point. I believe we have so many SMGs that deal damage with the same fire rate or approximately the same fire rate. For example, the PBX-45 is one of those SMGs with close quarter combat. The rate of fire is going to be 850 RPM, but it's going to deal some more damage than this. The AC-9 is absolutely better. That's just what I think about this. Definitely, the SCZ-3 is one of the best SMGs out there right now because it really delivers with that 880 RPM fire rate. However, I do believe there are weapons that can dominate this weapon in close quarters. Like I said, AC-9, PBX-45, AM-40, which is an assault rifle, but it's really a fast assault rifle, and it's a CQB AR, I believe. It has a fire rate of 850 RPM, and again, it deals way more damage compared to the SCZ-3. That was something that I needed to shed light on because some people say it's the best SMG or there's nothing that can counter it or kind of dominate it in close range. That is just simply wrong. Now, let's go to the attachments and see what we've got. First of all, the weapon is somehow simple to progress on. Some of the key attachments are there for you from the beginning. Let's take a look and see what we've got. I'm going to start from the weapon side. As you can see, we've got a lot of sights here, but what we basically prefer for a weapon which is a close quarter dominant weapon is having a red dot sight and just go on with it, right? I don't believe you need any other scope on this weapon. It's just the typical fusion holo that we all use, and that's it. I believe the iron sight on this weapon is somehow odd. It doesn't have the clarity you need to be able to hit those targets with pinpoint accuracy. So if I were you, I would just stick with my fusion holo and just go on with it. You can also use the XTR holo. I don't have any problem with K8 holo as well. They're all 1.25 times scopes, which are all great for close quarters. I believe it's personal preference what you choose as your weapon sight, but I believe you need to be choosing something with minimum magnification to be able to basically ADS or aim down sight as soon as possible. So that means you have to be going with 1.25 times scopes, and between 1.25 scopes, that's basically your personal choice. I believe the fusion holo gives you a better target accusation, so that is my own preference. Now moving on to underbarrel attachments, I believe the progression of underbarrel attachments on SCZ-3 is pretty much simple. So as you guys know, the weapon is used for close quarters, right? So you're going to go with no attachments. You're going to go with factory mounts on the get-go. You need only 30 kills to unlock the LWG grip, which gives you accuracy while moving and decreases your accuracy while being static. And you're going to stick with the LWG grip until you actually unlock the STNR laser sight, which gives you both hipfire accuracy while moving and recoil control. It really fits the weapon because you need both of them. The weapon has some sort of recoil that we're going to get into in just a few minutes. So if I want to sum it up again, you're going to start with factory mounts. You get 30 kills and you're going to be unlocking the LWG grip. From there, you're going to equip the LWG grip because it gives you some accuracy while moving, which is good for a close quarter weapon like the SCZ-3. And then you're going to just stick to that until you actually get 360 kills and unlock the STNR laser sight, which gives you both accuracy of hipfire while moving and recoil control, which is perfect for close quarter combats. So that's about it. Now moving on to muzzle attachments. Well, we've got some interesting choices here, I believe. We've got both Champion Muzzle Brake, Factory Barrel, and Arkham Tactical Muzzle Brake. So you've got 3 options here, I believe. The other options are just not going to be okay for this weapon. In this case, I did some testing on the recoil pattern of the weapon. With the new update, they've added the visual recoil, which messes everything up, and one of the worst visual recoils is actually on the SCZ-3. It's ridiculous. Sometimes your aim just flies away and you just can't control it. I know it sucks, but DICE has promised that they're gonna fix the issue with a hotfix as soon as possible, and they said they are prioritizing this hotfix to be out there as soon as possible, so we're waiting for this as well. But I did some testing. It's basically not a complex thing. You're going to stand in front of a wall and start shooting without actually controlling the recoil. And as you can see, the recoil is basically vertical and there is not much horizontal recoil there. So because of that, using the Champion Muzzle Brake is actually going to be more beneficial to you. Now, the Champion Muzzle Brake, as you guys probably know, will give you some vertical recoil control and decrease your horizontal recoil control, which in this case, I do believe it doesn't matter really to lose some horizontal recoil control because the horizontal recoil isn't actually there, or it's basically just minimal, so we're not going to pay much attention to that. And it's not like me sitting here judging based on some recoil patterns that I've seen on a wall. I played with both attachments for quite some time, and I believe the Champion Muzzle Brake just works perfectly fine on this weapon. The Arkham Tactical Muzzle Brake somehow feels off. And the reason for that is simply because the weapon has little to no horizontal recoil, and whatever recoil it has is vertical, so we are going to use the Champion Muzzle Brake on the weapon as well. We have some interesting choices here for our magazine types. Okay, so you're going to start with the standard issue. It's a 30 round magazine. I believe 30 rounds for this weapon is pretty much nothing cool, I would say. Because the weapon has a lot of fire rate. Someone jumps in front of you, your magazine is completely empty. So that's not going to be working. However, you have to stick with it for, I believe, like 180 kills, or it was 240 kills, until you actually open up the standard issue drum magazine. I believe the standard issue drum has to be your first and most played magazine. I believe the 50 bullet drum is an advantage. At least most of the SMGs are going to be lacking against you when it comes to how many bullets that magazine is going to hold. The drum magazine is going to hold 50 bullets, and you're going to see the difference as soon as you jump into the game. You're going to see how better it feels when you have 50 bullets in your magazine. So I believe the standard issue drum mag has to be your first option here. Now for your second and third slots, I need to explain something to you here. The high power ammunition actually decreases the rate of fire by 60 RPM, and your rate of fire is going to be 820 from 880. So if you are okay with it, I do believe that the second slot should be the high power drum mag. And if you are not okay with that decrease in your rate of fire, your second slot should be standard issue extended, which is holding 40 bullets. And then as your third slot, you're going to choose the high power drum mag. So yeah, that was all about the magazine types as well. About magazine, guys, if you are new to the game or you're just basically not familiar with the attachment selection in Battlefield 2042, I suggest that you guys always max all your slots when it comes to your magazines, because when you run out of ammo, you can switch between those magazines and your ammo is going to be refilled. So that doesn't make sense, but it is something to be considered in Battlefield 2042. It will really come in handy in times where you just run out of ammo and there's nobody to resupply you. And if I want to add something to today's video, we've got the extended barrel in muzzle attachments, and it really messes up with your rate of fire, decreases it by a negative 120 RPMs, which is a big number when it comes to rate of fire. And if you are okay with that, that is going to actually give you some damage over range and some muzzle velocity as well. But just decreases your fire rate, and that is something that you have to give in order to get that more velocity. As long as I'm concerned, however, not a lot of people want to play with the extended barrel. I don't even know why there has to be an extended barrel on an SMG. I believe it's completely a ridiculous attachment there. The damage model on the weapon is just not as powerful as some of the other SMGs. And that's going to be quite obvious for you as long as you start shooting and start killing people with it. You're going to notice that the damage the weapon deals is not as good as some other SMGs. However, the rate of fire basically compensates for that as well. So the extended barrel is not something that I would recommend. But if you guys somehow wanted to try the extended barrel, I believe your go-to magazine option should be the high-powered drum mag. So you're going to put that in front of all in your first slot, so you're going to get the maximum damage out of that weapon as well. So with all that said, we've got two main playstyles for the SCZ-3. If you guys want to go all out CQB and dominate your close quarter combats, the weapon attachments should look like this. And if you guys want some longer ranges, you basically sacrifice some rate of fire to get some projectile velocity and more damage out of the weapon, your attachments should look like this. As you can see, we've got the extended barrel right here, but we've prioritized the high-powered drum mag over the standard issue extended and standard issue drum mag because we need maximum damage in those high ranges, right? I do believe the STNR laser sight should still stay there because the rate of fire is going to be 700 RPM and it's still a decent rate of fire for close ranges. So I believe you should leave that STNR laser sight right there, regardless of your playstyle, because it's going to really help you in close quarter combats. No matter what kind of playstyle you have, in Battlefield 2042, and especially in the new map Haven, you're going to encounter a lot of people in extremely close ranges. So you're going to need something with some more hipfire accuracy to be able to help you in those gunfights. So with all that said, it's time to end today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope it was helpful. I tried to basically play as much as I can, unlock all the attachments, and then make this video so you guys can have a better overview of what the weapon looks like with different playstyles and with different attachments. The AK-5C is going to be unlocked in, I believe, approximately 1 or 2 days. And I'm going to start playing with it. I'm going to start unlocking all the attachments and make a specific video about the AK-5C as well. So if you guys are waiting for that video, do make sure to subscribe to the channel because that video is going to be out in the upcoming days and I don't want you guys to miss that. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Until next time, guys, stay cool.